This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Talk about December 18th, 1995. It's written in the Observer. Ahmed Johnson is so strong and clumsy doing his power moves that guys who work long programs with him are candidates for back problems. So clearly someone had already put a bug in Meltzer's ear that they didn't like working with Ahmed. When did you guys first start to hear the rumblings of, hey, maybe he's not the safest guy out there?
Well, I think that when the bell rang, a lot of times you could hear guys saying, oh man, I don't want to work with Ahmed. Ahmed was snug. Ahmed was clumsy. Ahmed was green and still needed work. But you take that and you try to learn them all the way down from Ultimate Warrior, Sid, on down the line. There are a lot of guys and you try to work through that. But without a doubt, I think that there was a lot of talent that just by looking at Ahmed didn't want to get hit with any of those clotheslines or some of those tackles.
Do you remember Shane Douglas having a problem with the push Ahmed was getting? I mean, it's sort of the tale of two guys, right? Like one comes in and he's positioned right away as a top guy. The other guy has had success in ECW and a prior WWF run and WCW, bunch of tag runs over there. Feels like, hey man, I got the right look. I got the right background. I got the right experience. And now they're pushing Ahmed. Was Shane upset with this?
I don't know if he was or not. But again, I think you're comparing apples and pomegranates at that point, because one guy, as you said, had been around. He wasn't getting over in that position. And Ahmed was, a new talent that was coming in that was going to be, hey, here's an experiment. Let's go with this. We've tried with the tried and true, and let's try something else. You're still going to go with the tried and true, but you're going to use them to help get Ahmed over.
So talk to me a little bit about the 6-man that you had planned for International Incident. It's supposed to be the Ultimate Warrior, Shawn Michaels, and Ahmed Johnson. And there's promos out there of those three together talking about,
oh God, that's had to be, I would like to see that.
talking about taking on Vader, Owen Hart, and Davey Boy. But of course we all recall Warrior either quits or is fired, whoever you believe. And the team is instead joined by Sid. So now it's Shawn, Sid, and Ahmed. Do you think the appeal of Ahmed gets lost a little bit when you have a guy like Sid towering over him and just as jacked?
I don't know if it takes away from him, but it does put a spotlight on him. That right. Spotlight spreads at that point.
Let's talk about the match. They go 24 minutes and 32 seconds. The bad guys get the win. Meltzer would say overall a very good main event as expected. Michaels carrying the match for his side. Johnson tagged in and threw 3 dangerous back suplexes on Hart, whose landings didn't look too pretty, and he appeared to have hurt his elbow and shoulder legitimately. He used the Pearl River plunge on Smith, but Vader made the save. I guess we should mention, there's a weird spot where a fan hops the rail and makes it all the way to the ring apron. And at that point, both Ahmed and Davey Boy seem to notice him, and Ahmed blocks him first. And the fan took one look at Johnson and voluntarily jumped off the apron into the police, and a big pop from the crowd. Kind of a cool moment in the match here where they want to get involved in the match and then they come face to face with Ahmed and just rethink all that shit a little bit.
If you had that choice,
I'd jump down too.
A big sweaty Ahmed Johnson who's like in the middle of a match and just ready to go, and he's coming for you, or the arms of the policeman where all they're going to do is handcuff you and take you away. What's your choice?
Is it, well, clearly it's a no-brainer, but how funny is it? Do you think that guy. It's interesting to me that the highlight of the whole thing is the fan jumping the rail and running into Ahmed? I mean, it was for me anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah. You don't expect that. And also I don't care what side you're on. Ahmed is a big, intimidating son of a bitch. Any arena, Ahmed's huge.
Do you remember when this match is coming through the curtain, coming in the back, Owen or anybody talking about these dangerous looking suplexes? Was there a concern that, Oh shit, man. He might be hurting good talent out there. We gotta watch this.
I think that, when it got to the point of him actually hurting people, yeah, it's like, you've got to be careful. You've got to know what the hell you're doing, or don't do it.
I guess my question is, do you think Ahmed was hurting guys because of what you insinuated earlier, that he was going too fast? Does he not really know his own strength? Or is he just legitimately green, or a combination of all three?
It's kind of a combination of all three. And I don't think that Ahmed intentionally hurt anybody. I think that it was lack of schooling, lack of just knowing the right way to do some things. And a lot of times you'll think that you're getting a skilled performer, when in reality you're getting someone that hasn't done a whole lot.
It's the same taping later on where there's a battle royal to determine the number one contender to face the winner of Shawn and Vader for the Raw after SummerSlam, and Ahmed wins that. So it's obviously not known at the time that Ahmed is hurt this severely, but how quickly after the show do we learn, hey, Ahmed's on the shelf for a little bit?
I want to say within the next couple days. I want to say that Ahmed, left and was sore and was hurting, but then realized that, hey, this is a lot more serious than anybody thought. And went to a doctor and found out that he had a much more severe injury.
So it's even in the Observer. Ahmed Johnson's injury was announced on Raw as being a ruptured kidney. Other reports are that it is a severely bruised kidney, and that Johnson now has blood in his urine. So they don't know exactly when it happened. Johnson also broke his nose during the 6-man, presumably from a stiff kick to the face by Owen Hart. He was considered doubtful for this coming weekend, but the presumption is he'll start back at SummerSlam. I've always found, the Ahmed Johnson narrative interesting, because it's not like he's out here combating it, doing a bunch of appearances and interviews, but people always say, oh, he was reckless. He was dangerous. And then here in back-to-back nights, we break the motherfucker's nose and severely bruise his kidneys to the point he's pissing blood. I mean, I guess there's a chance these are just receipts, but if there's dangerous,
they're both accidents. Not for a second, not receipts for anything. It was Ron's first night in. It was an mistimed ill-placed kick. And on Owen, the same thing.
It's just weird though, because when people talk about Owen Hart and Ron Simmons, they never talk about them in the vein of, well, these guys were dangerous. They hurt a lot of guys, but Ahmed Johnson, for some reason, gets that treatment. Why do you think that is?
Because he hurt a lot of guys.
Okay. Well, he got hurt too by those two guys. He undergoes surgery. Kevin Kelly interviews him. He's on TV before the surgery. And in the interview, Ahmed states he doesn't know if he'll ever be able to physically defend the Intercontinental title. Interesting comment from a quote unquote babyface. Usually I'm going to be right back out there, daddy, and all that shit. Is this Ahmed just freestyling, or was that the plan where you're wanting to tease?
No. Really? That it's one of those injuries that it's internal and time. Some people heal quicker than others. And this was one of those situations that nobody could give you a prognosis of, okay, he'll be better in 2 weeks or he'll be better in 3 weeks. It was, we got to wait and see how he heals up.
It actually winds up being that way. He's in and out of the hospital multiple times due to complications from the surgery. There's rumors that, hey, this could be a legitimate career ending injury. They even give periodic updates on his condition, and he makes an appearance on Livewire, which we got to do a show on one day. We don't see him again until In Your House Buried Alive, which is in October, and he attacks Farooq backstage with a 2x4, causing him to miss his Intercontinental title match against Marco Mero. The reason, of course, is Farooq has a hamstring injury. Whew, the injury bug has bit you guys in a big way here in the fall of 96, has it not?
Yeah, it usually does. It comes and it kind of spreads around like a virus of sorts.
Gorilla Monsoon is going to suspend Ahmed after the attack, which is just a cover to give him more time to heal. In the meantime, though, Farooq forms the Nation of Domination, and Ahmed Johnson comes back on November 18th to clean house again with a 2x4. At the In Your House, My Time pay-per-view, which is December, or It's Time, not My Time, December of 96, Vince McMahon conducts an in-ring interview with Ahmed, announcing that Ahmed is going to wrestle Farooq at the Royal Rumble. And Ahmed in the interview talks about how his injury made him lose his girlfriend, his car, and his house, and all he has now is the fans. Farooq comes out and calls Ahmed Johnson Uncle Tom. And he says he'll finish Ahmed Johnson off at the Royal Rumble. Boy, if this isn't the beginning of the Attitude Era, it ain't far away, is it?
Yeah, no, it was definitely the beginning. And some of the stuff, he lost his girlfriend, his car, and his house is kind of...
Sounds like a country song.
Yeah, and my dog got sick, by God.
Yeah.
It could definitely be that way. But sometimes I think that Ahmed's psychology was a little amiss.
So chat me up about the creative here with him coming out and listing off all those things that this injury cost him. And then Farooq calling him that. Is this something y'all run past anybody?
No.
Or are they just freestyling?
No, this is guys going out and cutting their own promos.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.